Welcome back to our channel Teaching and Learning. In this channel we mainly talk about business communication, English language, IELTS practice and other important subject matter that are very important for the students and other professionals also. So before starting today's video, I love to say that please if you are new in our channel, why don't you subscribe our channel so that you can receive the notification for upcoming videos and you will be benefited. If you are trying to progress yourself in IELTS practice, English language and business communication and other related things. So let's move to today's video. In the previous video we have completed the unit 5 of business English. By the way, in this video I am going to talk about business English, which is mainly designed for the students of BBS first year or first semester for both. And up to now we have completed up to unit 5. So today we are going to discuss the lessons from unit 6. So the title of the unit 6 is cross-cultural bridges. The title in itself says that cross-cultural bridges, there are differences on the basis of culture, on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste systems, on the basis of lifestyles, customs, and so many things are there. How can we bridge the gap, those gaps created by cultures, or how those gaps works in our society? What are their roles that we are going to discuss in the units. So the first lesson of this unit, there are altogether 2 lessons. The first lesson of this unit is a marriage is a private affair, written by Chinua Achebe. He is from Nigeria. So here this text, marriage is a private affair, the title itself says that there are different affairs in our life, the different types of relationship, different types of concern, and different types of action and activities and involvement. Here whenever we talk about marriage, at that time it is more personal than social affair. It is more personal, more individualistic than the family related or community related. Let's start from literal comprehension so that we can easily understand what the text is about. Literal comprehension. It's written by Chinua Achebe. So let's start the literal comprehension over here. Naimeka and Nene are in love affairs. Naimeka has a love affair with the girl Nene of different culture and origin. The girl wants Naimeka to inform his father via letter about their ongoing marriage, but the boy is somehow afraid with his father and made a plan to tell everything after meeting him. Naimeka further said that how better it would be when his father gives them the permission for their marriage, but at the same time he receives the letter from his father. His father had chosen the girl for him in the village. Look at the situation. Naimeka has a love affair with the girl named Nene. And Nene really wants Naimeka's father, his her father-in-law, to give them permission for the marriage. At that time, Naimeka really wants Neme really wants Naimeka to write a letter to his father for the asking permission, but Naimeka says that he will tell this information, this thing, whenever he meets him. But what happens over here? At that time Naimeka further receives the letter from his father, where in the letter father mentioned that he had chosen a girl for him. For him means for Naimeka. It means he had chosen her, going to be the daughter-in-law. But at the same time he received the letter from his father. His father had chosen the girl for him in the village. The girl's name is Yogo, his childhood friend. He goes to his village, not telling Nene anything about the internal matter of him and his father. He tells his father that he is in love with a girl in city. She is a teacher. She is Nene Atang, who was from different tribe, After listening all these things about his son, the father becomes very much angry and upset. On the other hand, the son is not ready to marry the girl chosen by his father. Because of this struggle, the son goes back to Lagos. The villagers suggest Nyameka's father to treat his son by a native doctor. Nyameka's father does not even want to listen about his son. He says that his son is dead for him. Nyameka marries with Nene. Then he realizes the need of informing his father about their marriage and writes a letter with a photo of couple. But his father returns it, manipulating the photo of Nene. When Nene sees her photo, she becomes very sad, but Nyameka convinces her that his father is not a bad person and he would accept their relation one day. After the 8 years of marriage, the couple have 2 sons who really want to visit their grandfather in the village. Then Nene writes a letter to her father-in-law that the grandsons want to visit him once. So if he gives permission, Nyameka will come to visit him with his 2 sons. The old man, after reading the letter, feels very sad. Nyameka will come to visit him with his 2 sons. The old man, after reading the letter, feels very happy and eager to see his grandsons. Look at this, is a very fancy type of story, but it is the story like in the movie, in the cinema it happens, girls and boys are in love of here, their parents wants to marry them with the another girls or another boy, whatever the case, and they elope, or sometimes they marry without the permission of their parents, and there is a struggle in between. At last, when there are the grandsons, granddaughters, grandchildren, at that time the old grandparents, or let's say the parents of the boys, really accept the family. So this is happening in most of the Eastern films, Eastern movies, like in Indian and in Indian movies, Bollywood and Hollywood, in Nepal and in India and in other countries also. So what happens, this story is the typical story of many movies, and it is not only the story of fantasy, it is not only the story of imagination. This is the reality of our society. So that many movie writer, movie story or plot writer, they really grab this story and make a film, and there are stories also based on such events, such situations. So what happens here, people are struggling for the marriage, regarding the marriage, which is some people believe that it is a social affair, or some people think that this is a family affair, or some people believe that this is the private affair. Here the boy marriages with a girl without the permission, with the rejection of his father, but later on, after the 8 years of their family, they have 2 sons, and when daughter-in-law writes a letter to her father-in-law that his son would come with his 2 grandsons to meet him in the village, because grandsons really want to meet their grandfather. After receiving that letter, the same old man who had manipulated, manipulated means cutting the photo of Nene from the couple. So he was manipulating photo that way in the beginning, but after at 8 years, when he reads in the letter that he has 2 grandsons and they really want to meet their grandfather, at that time he feels very happy. So this way the story has happy ending, not tragedy. It's a good comedy, it's a happy ending of the story. And this is all about the plot, what we do in literal comprehension. Now let's move to the interpretation. How do we interpret this story? What is the message? What the writer tries to say through this story is also very important thing. The next important, let's read this one. The next important point in the story is that it has shown the fact that marriage must be private affair in everyone's life. The story typically wants to say us that marriage is a private affair. Marriage is a personal affair. If I want to marry, it's up to me regarding the choice of my girlfriends, of my wife, because I have to live my life. In the rest of the life, I have to live with her, so that it is very private affair. A boy or a girl should decide who is going to be his or her life partner. That's very important. Parents, sometimes other relatives, society may be angry for a few days, but they will accept it. If the girl or boy is good for you, if your partner is suitable for you, if you are happy with your partner, family members, obviously will accept you. Okay, that's the main message of this story. Then one must be free to choose his or her life partner according to his or her wish. So it is 100% individual affair. One has 100% right to choose his or her life partner, because he has to live his life with her. So that's the message the writer, the story writer Chinua Achebe really wants to express. It helps them to lead a very happy life, and also it helps to avoid the social discrimination to a great extent. People often talk bigger things about the culture. Oh, our culture. I'm not going to insult anybody else, okay? Our culture, our tradition, our values, our traditional values, they often talk that way, bigger things, but they are creating a kind of discrimination. They are creating different rooms in the society. People think that my culture is superior. We are civilized. We are the one who every culture should respect. No, this is not the thing. And this, when people think that marriage is the family affairs, marriage is the social affair, at that time, they are trying to create a kind of discrimination in the society. Let your child free, boys and girls, to choose their life partner. At least they will be happy, satisfied, or if they are not happy, again at that time they can get time to realize their mistake. Otherwise, they will blame their parents. Okay, I didn't have desire to marry with this girl, but my parents forced me to marry this girl. So because of which my life has become curse. My life has become, damage, life damage. So that's the, message the writer over here wants to express. And if you are free to choose your life partner, at that time, it means, you are liberal. You have dismantled, squeeze, and you are tearing out the discrimination in the society. So, according to the writer tries to say that life partner should be chosen on the basis of the personal wish. The story basically presents the burning social problem found in the rural areas where the majority of people are superstitious and uneducated. Another important message, another important point, the writer or this story interprets that mainly discrimination is in the rural areas, in the villages, where people are more superstitious. When, look at in the story, when that Naimika, marries with a girl, he says that I have an affair with the girl and I want to marry. At that time, the villager wants to find out the witch doctor to treat him. So look at the superstitious level. So they look for the, witch doctor over there, superstitious, and they are uneducated, and they are living in the discrimination. They have not positive attitudes about the other tribe, about the other culture, about the people of other caste, other race. So they don't have the thinking of equality. They don't have the privilege of humanity and so many things. So those things, through this story, the writer tries to express. And the text also interprets that one must be free to choose his her life partner according to his her wish. It helps them to lead a very happy, and also it helps to avoid the social discrimination to a great extent. So marriage is a private affair. So the person is free to choose his or her life partner. That's the main message. And the discrimination is in the village areas. Many people, I am not putting forward my views, okay? This is the interpretation of this story. Many people believe that we are very rich in culture, in our values, in our lifestyles in village. City, they have loosened their culture. No, this is not. If you see from another dimension, in city, in urban areas, people have the equality. They don't have at least the viewpoints, perception of discrimination. They have not make any type of perception that creates the discrimination in their life, in their relation and behaviors. This is more problematic in rural areas where people are superstitious. They don't know what is the reality, what is the technology, what is the civilization. So they are living with their kind of orthodoxical point of view over there. And they are uneducated also. They don't know things, how to live in the harmony, how to live in the humanity, how to believe that all humans are equal, there is no discrimination at all. So these are the things through this story the writer tries to say. A critical thinking, let's move to the critical thinking. Here what we see is what are the not convincing points mentioned in the stories. We try to see and raise some of the questions that are doubtful, that we are in doubt. And one more important thing is we are not convinced that much about those things. The story presents that marriage is a private matter, but while reading the text, some questions haunting my mind, like, is it not good to let our parents to know who we are going to marry? Is it not good? Our parents are our enemy. What happens if we have a kind of counseling with them? It's okay, because they are more experienced people. They know the society, rules, cultures and everything. They have lived their life more than us, and they have very beautiful experience of struggles, challenges and opportunities in the life. How can we make our life happy? On the basis of their experience, we can learn so many things. Why do we try to marry somebody hiding from our parents? Can't we communicate with them properly? So this is one point that we can raise questions, okay? Does love marriage guarantee the happiness in our life? Here the writer indirectly tries to promote the love marriage system, not the arranged marriage. Can anybody give the guarantee of love marriage that give you the happiness and satisfaction and it will go to the success? Is that the guarantee? And cannot share our views while in love affair with our parents about the marriage. What is the difference between one caste and another? Should people discriminate other in the name of religion or culture? These all things are not that much convincing. We can raise those questions over here in this story. Is it possible to manipulate the photo of the daughter-in-law by her father-in-law? Is it possible? Obviously no. I can't do that one. Can you do that one? So these are some questions that we can raise in this story. Let's move to the assimilation, okay? The story led me to the realization of the importance of the tradition for the old people. Time changes everything, but not the mind of the old people. The old people never have the harmony with other from next culture and religion. I came to know that I need to support them to understand the demand of time and situation. Yes, here the father of Naimeka is also not bad, because he is behaving on the basis of his own experience, on the basis of his own perception, where he made those perceptions in his society. His society never encourages people to respect other culture, never encourages people to behave other culture as your culture. So because of this problem in the Naimekas, father's society. He could not, respect the feelings, and he could not respect the desire, need, and interest of his son, because the daughter-in-law is also the member of his family. But how could he cut out the photo of her in the pictures? So after reading this story, I came to know that it's our job. We cannot blame that our parents, our grandparents are not good people. We cannot say that way. What we need to do is we need to help them to understand better. Time has changed. Situation has changed. So we need to behave in a different way than their time. At that time, it would be okay if you marry within your culture, if you have the business within your culture, if you have the relation within your culture. But now the world has been changed because of science and technology, because of the education, because of the information technology. The whole world has become a small village. So we can help them the global village, concept of global village, through which they can understand what they have to do in the particular type of situation over here. In this way, this story encourages us. This is a very beautiful story which encourages us to understand how culture matters in family relation, how it tries to influence the marriage, marital affairs. So on the basis of which the writer has given the title Marriage is a Private Affair, the beautiful story, and this way we did the 4-level interpretation. Thank you very much. Welcome back to our channel Teaching and Learning. In this channel we mainly talk about business communication, English language, IELTS practice, and other basic English packages. We'll discuss the grammars, vocabularies, everyday conversation, professional writing, and so many other things. So in this video I'm going to talk about business English, which is mainly designed for the students of BBS first semester, first year. But one more thing is, this video is not only for the students of BBS. This is equally important for the other professionals also, not only the students but others also, because this is a beautiful exposure for the English language learner. If you are a learner of English language, this video is going to help you. And one more thing, if you are new to our channel, so I would like to request you to subscribe, to press the subscribe button and bell icon also, so that you can get the notification of my future upcoming videos to you. Okay, now let's move to the today's video. So we are doing over here is unit 6. Unit 6 is the cross-cultural bridges. Here we have completed in the same video that Marriage is a Private Affair, written by Chinya Achebe. It's a beautiful story that is related to the cross-cultural bridges. And second lesson is Then and Now, Finding My Voice. So here the writer Ellen H. Kim, she is from Korea and she lives in the United States, and she is writing it's a kind of autobiographical story, you can say that way, or you can say an autobiographical essay also. So she is sharing her views. She is sharing her experiences, life experiences, based on the what happened because of the cultural gaps and cultural differences in between America and Korea. So let's start from literal comprehension. Yes, literal comprehension. Kim has expressed her personal experiences while upbringing in America as a perpetual outsider. She had to face the discrimination and injustice in America, and the white used to say her chink and Jap. Her house had become the barrier in the connection of adjustments because her family members used to speak Korean and she had to speak English outside of home. In the essay, she said that she was interested in pursuing that meant telling about the future to the people. She also met many fortune tellers when she was in the United States. She liked them because they used to say good things about her future. One day in a party, one fortune teller told her age, about 12 to 17, and it was the happy time for her life. But she denied him. Actually, her teenage was pretty unhappy and challenging. In the essay, she talked about Korean War and pathetic condition of Korean refugees living in the United States. In the Korean War, about 3 million people were killed and about 10 million people left their home and separated from the family, society and relatives. She also talked about the racial discrimination in the United States. Furthermore, Americans never understood that there is a country named Korea, and Korean people have different culture and language. It was the problem of American people. Even though they say that they are the most powerful practitioner of democracy, they love and they believe on democracy, individual freedom and liberty. But here, many Americans they had the problem that they did not know there is a country like Korea. There is a Korean language and there are people different than them. So they didn't realize those things that the writer is trying to say over here. They used to assume that Korea might be the part of either Japan or China. So they didn't know about there is a country Korea. The speaker of the text used to be asked whether she was Japanese or Chinese. She also mentioned that Asian allowed to leave white neighborhood, but her brother was beaten by gangs of white boys. The writer was alone Asian in her class, and the white American treated her as Asian foreigner. They even asked her when she came to America and when she was going back to her home country. But this discrimination led her to think and determine to be a cheerleader in America. It was really difficult to an Asian lady. In this way, the confusion and difficulty of her teenage inspired to learn about the history when she grew older. She satisfied and became when she learned about the history of America in relation to racial discrimination and injustice to the people of other countries. So in this way, the writer is trying to share, and she is describing about the discrimination which is practiced in America for the people, for the citizen of other countries. There, as she has the life experience that white Americans used to treat her like the outsider, and she used to be called like Cham or Jap. It means either she is Chinese or Japanese, and they used to ask her, when did you come to America and when you are going back to your home country. You know, her home country was the United States, but white Americans believe that it is only their country. Other people who are originally from Asia are not American. This is the narrow mindset of American people that the writer tries to explore. And one more thing is, here she had a dream to overcome all this discrimination and become a cheerleader. Cheerleader means the youth leader of the people, and she got success also in her dream and objectives. That's the story. And she has also talked about how the people from other countries believe on superstitions and the fortune teller, and how fortune teller actually tries to deceive the people, telling whatever thing they guess or pretend. Okay, now let's move to the interpretation. Our personal experiences while upbringing in America is a perpetual outsider. She had to face the discrimination and injustice in America. It also talks about the history of America in relation to racial discrimination and injustice. to the people of other countries. So that's the main motive the writer tries to say over here is, the people of America, they have the bigger perception regarding the racial discrimination. What they think is those people who are white in race are the original citizen of United States. Other people, those people who are originally from Asia and other countries, they don't receive them as the American national. It can be proved or justified from their behavior and the language and the treatment they do. So they are a little bit more possessive also, more stupid type of people also, and they try to suppress other people. They have the kind of authoritative tone in their behavior, because her brother was beaten by the white gangs over there. Why did they beat her brother? Because her brother was not look like them. So it is a kind of color discrimination. It is a kind of racial discrimination. So that discrimination is prevailing all over the United States. That's the thing we can interpret from this story. It also talks about the history of America in relation to racial discrimination and injustice to the people of other countries. It may not be right now. At that time it was something like that. People were very they were practicing racial discrimination. They have the feeling of discrimination, and they didn't have harmony, pity, and they were not friendly to the people who are from other cultures, other backgrounds. So this essay also tries to explore how the racial discrimination was prevailing all over the United States, how people used to be treated in the United States from the other countries. So that is also interpreted in the story. And the text also interprets the Korean War and pathetic condition of Korean refugees living in the United States. This text also gives us the picture of Korean War and how difficult lifestyle was there of the Korean people in the United States. They were the refugees there, and they didn't have enough they didn't have enough food and clothes also. So many Koreans were supported by the writer's family over there. They used to give them shelter also. They used to live sometimes over there until they managed their shelters or house or something else. And they also gave many people to the the foodstuffs and other things. So it tries to interpret the pathetic condition of Korean people at that time. In the Korean War, about 3 million people were killed, and about 10 million people left their homes and separated from their family, society, and relatives. So this is the main message that we can receive from this essay. We can interpret the essay this way, because there was the problem, there was the discrimination, and people from other countries had to struggle 200% more than an American used to do over there. So that type of discrimination was there. Let's move to the critical thinking. The text tries to show the problems and difficulties that an immigrant face in the time of adjustment in a new land. It is not only because of the native people, but because of immigrants as well. Is it possible as an easy life in new land? Why the author express her disagreements towards Americans so much? Can one find that place where people enjoy in their country? So everywhere this sort of discrimination, but here in this text, writer seems more aggressive towards American people, and she has only mentioned the examples that could project or protect the social discrimination over there in the United States. There might be some positive things that they are supporting to the immigrants and helping them. Those things could be raised, could be discussed in the essay, but the writer has not done that one, because she might have a very a kind of high level of aggression. She is very dissatisfied. She has the very cultural shock over there in the United States. Because of that, she has developed the issues, examples, and events over there in the United States. So that's the critical thinking. And let's move to the assimilation. Okay, after reading the text, I came to know that America is also not the dream country for everyone. All over the world, whenever we talk from the Asian countries, like the South Asian countries like India, Pakistan, China, not China actually, India, Pakistan, Nepal, Burma, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka, Maldives, the people really want to go to the United States. This is the dreamland for the people of these countries. United States is the dreamland for many people. I'm not saying that everyone believes America, or let's say United States, is the dream country. No, but majority of the people think that way. So after reading this essay, I came to know that I have realized that America is not the dreamland for everyone. Everybody who has migrated from their country to United States is not happy. In America also there are the normal human behaviors, like people make some sort of discrimination as we do over here in our countries. People, they are prejudiced, they discriminate, sometimes they misbehave us also by their language, by their behaviors, whatever. So America is also not the dream country for everybody. Everybody may not be happy after traveling to America. That I have realized after reading this essay. People face a lot of problem and challenge in America in comparison to their native country. I got the lesson that one has to struggle a lot wherever he goes. It does not matter. Struggle we need to do. Either we are in our own country or we are in new land. What I want to say over here is, if we migrate from our country to new land, at that time we need to struggle more than the previous place and previous time. This is the reality. We need to get the adjustment over there. We need to maintain all the rules, social laws and orders, national law. There are so many things we need to manage. So even in America, people have struggles, people have challenges, they have problems. It is not the dreamland for everybody. Many people might take it like a dreamland, and it may become dreamland for them, not for all. That's the message. That's the realization I have got after reading this essay. So in this way, this is very beautiful essay, autobiographical essay. So here what we learned is, the title says, then and now finding my voice. At that time, how I was, and now how I am. The writer is describing in a very beautiful way, giving many examples, giving many anecdotes, and giving many description. She has beautifully presented the lifestyles in the United States, mainly lifestyles of the immigrants who are so-called outsiders, who are Asian, African, how they are struggling in the United States. People of America at that time did not respect her. But now she has become the cheerleader, she has become the youth leader. Even the white give her fun and life. So this is the beautiful message we can read from this story. At last, what we need to understand is, she has described the scenario of America from her childhood, from her early childhood education to the present time. So here, this way, we can see the changes of the United States also. This much for this essay. Then and now finding my voice. EHK Korea. Okay, thank you very much.